She's speaking this morning about Luther and Calvin. It is a great privilege for me to introduce the lovely, the learned Dr. Susan Karant-Nunn.
I travel around the city of Tucson on Sunday morning and see the churches, the parking lots absolutely crammed. Americans are deeply religious, so we need to orient ourselves in relation to all the categories of religious organization that surround us and figure out how not only we came to be the way we are, but where these groups that we're affiliated with actually came from.
Regents Professor Susan Karant-Nunn takes the long view. A University of Arizona Reformation historian and early modern European specialist, she is the director of the Division for Late Medieval and Reformation Studies.
Ideals. As I look around me, I certainly can't see. John Calvin would be stunned, would he not?
Karant-Nunn maintains a scholar's neutrality when it comes to theological clashes.
Virtue is not the main goal any longer, although seeming to... As a historian in a large state university, I exert myself to see religion and to bring it to my students in a much broader context. You say anything else? Yes.
Karant-Nunn doesn't have a faith criterion, but she certainly has a fascination with the man who kicked off the Reformation in 1517, Martin Luther. After Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the door of All Saints Church in Wittenberg, Germany, Christianity would never be the same.
Martin Luther believed that he had a breakthrough concerning faith, that one did not have to go on pilgrimages, one did not have to go to masses, one did not have to purchase indulgences, but above all, he said, you must have faith in order to be saved. He was such a dedicated scholar that he stood at a lectern when he got tired so that he wouldn't fall asleep. He would fall down and hurt himself if he fell asleep.
And Bertig, is that just a form of born?
Yes.
Okay.
Protestant stylistic term.
That's a good question. I don't know.
There's a delicate balance often between the encouragement and the kick in the pants. And she's very good at doing both of those.
I also feel a real commitment to conveying to them some of the issues that have helped to shape them as well as me and our entire society. Learning-wise.
I mean, people look at us as sort of special because we're Susan Karant-Nunn's students.
Karant-Nunn was invited to the U of A by the late, great Professor Heiko Augustinus Obermann, arguably the greatest mind in the field of late medieval and Reformation theology.
I looked on this as a tremendous opportunity, although my field was different. And it was a credit to him that he thought maybe he needed someone who engaged in cultural and social history to complement what he did. He was very open-minded in that way.
Obermann began the tradition that all students who matriculate through the division must show a high degree of competency in Latin, German, and French at the very least. Karant-Nunn has put her skill in German to good use over the years.
I had the extraordinary good fortune to be allowed into East Germany in 1969 when I was working on my dissertation. The East German government thought that, oh, Reformation, she's not a spy. So they let me in, and I spent that time, 7.5 months there, doing research in various archives, and then intermittently I came back for the next 20 years before the wall came down in 1989.
I can't even imagine how tough a time she must have had. I mean, it wasn't a welcoming state in society.
No Xeroxing.
From that research, she produced 2 books and many articles, one small measure of her productivity.
She's done research, she's written books, she taught regularly, she has had a Guggenheim Fellowship, but also she's been the director all the time, she's been the only faculty in the division, and she's raised almost $1.7 million towards the chair I'm sitting in. It's really amazing.
realism, calculation, cunning. I am not sure that adage is true. If we don't know history, we're condemned to repeat it because conditions are constantly changing. But the study of history does enable us to understand human beings, human development better, and to understand our own place better within society. So I'm going to have a rich and wonderful weekend. Thank you.